Good evening and welcome to this special edition of Greater Somerville. I'm Joe Lynch.
I'm Cayenne Anderson.
And I am Santa.
There you go. He needs no introduction. He is the one, the only Santa Claus, and he's once again being very good to us here at Greater Somerville by coming back for another visit. So first question, Santa.
I'm ready.
Did you bring the sleigh and the reindeer? Did you park them in the Union Square parking lot, and did you remember to feed the meters?
Well, I get dropped off tonight by the Somerville Fire Department because of the lack of snow. So that's that's the mode of transportation in Somerville
Excellent.
that I do during this time of year.
Now you like riding that fire truck.
I love it.
This is your second time.
It is. The only problem, or the only thing you have to be careful, is when you're walking across the ladder to exit the fire truck. But Santa is getting better. He's been practicing.
Santa will be on the high wire before we know it. But Santa, thank you so much for coming back.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Merry
Nice to
Christmas.
see you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And as you can tell, folks, once again,
Guess who
Cayenne has
convinced me?
forced me to wear this sweater.
Okay,
All right.
let's just clear this up. I didn't purchase these. This was a gift last year, and Joe was very excited to come on and wear them again. He's like, oh, no. I'm like, no, Joe, we don't have to. No, Cayenne, we do. So here we are.
Santa,
And may I say, an excellent pair of looking bookends.
thank you.
Thank you. I was expecting a little bit more flair, Joe. I was thinking we were going to get a little more flair because Joe tends to dress it up. Last year we had a tree.
But we're not gonna stand up Santa.
No, that's true. We don't want to do that.
Cannot. Santa is the star of the show.
He is. This
and
is true.
unfortunately,
Thank you.
this year, Santa is very, very busy. So we're taping our show tonight.
No, I didn't know we were going to tell him that.
We have to tell them because remember last year the kids wanted to call in.
Oh, that's right. We
And
had
all
some
the
great
kids were
callers
calling
last year.
in, and you got to talk to a lot of Somerville children last
did.
year.
What happens if we do get a call? In the weird event, we could get... No, we're not
Well,
supposed
then I think here's what we should do, Santa. And here's another question for you. This year, with all the social media that's out there, I want to know, do you still get handwritten letters from kids?
Many handwritten letters.
Yep.
In fact, I have the elves helping me sort them and read them and keeping Santa on what's important.
to. Do you prioritize handwritten? Because I have to say, when I get a handwritten thank you card, which doesn't happen all that often, I mean, it's kind of the top of the pile. Like, you know, the bills go down here and the handwritten letter because you don't get them that often. So do you prioritize, like if the kids write handwritten,
Definitely. It's
they prioritize?
There you go.
extra special.
Little
We
tip
get
for
hundreds,
you at
or I
home.
should say millions of emails, but handwritten letters definitely mean a lot.
So
Definitely. I agree.
emails and text are okay with Santa,
Wait
but
a minute.
he
Text,
likes.
I don't agree with the text thing.
Well,
His cell phone might not be in coverage in North... I mean, technicality. You can...
Santa, how's your coverage up there at the North Pole?
Pretty good. It's
Pretty good.
getting better every
There you
year.
go.
Okay, well...
So to be doubly sure, I would say to any kids who are watching this show tonight, make sure you handwrite something in addition.
Yeah.
In addition.
And double duty.
Yep.
Get it in early, though, because the post office is slowing down. No
Right.
offense to the post office, but apparently they're slowing.
And I want to point out that I do have a list, and I know who's naughty and nice.
Oh.
And before Christmas, I'm going to check that list twice.
So Santa, you know, most of the kids in Somerville, I have to say, most of the kids in Somerville have been good this year.
Most.
So do you think,
for the one who stole
do you
my
think you're going to be able to help a lot of the kids with their wish list this year?
Absolutely.
All right.
Definitely.
There you go. If they're watching, you know he's watching you, so you got to be good right up until December 25th.
So what's your excuse, Joe?
Rough year. Rough year.
Okay.
I kind of acted out a little bit.
That's
you
okay.
know?
That's okay. I'll get you a present.
There you go.
Maybe
There
a
you go.
sweater, holiday
Santa, it's been a whole year since you've been back.
It seems like a couple of weeks.
Yeah. What have you
Really?
been doing?
Been very busy. When I'm not up in the North Pole, I'm conducting office hours throughout the city, hearing what's on people's minds, and addressing them at a different level.
Well, Santa Claus, I mean, it's not a full-time gig. I mean, that's, you know, Santa has the whole year off, so it's nice that you have a second
What
job.
do you mean he's got the whole year off? He works the entire year trying to make
Elves
these
work.
toys.
He just delegates. Let's be honest.
You know, you really have to be a good delegator
Good project
at this
manager.
level.
So it's more management that you
Definitely,
do these
definitely,
days. Yeah.
definitely professional management and
you don't-
professional development of elf staff.
Yeah, but you
It's
don't
very
have any.
important.
We don't have robots yet. There's not that
Not
high
yet.
tech.
We're
It's
not-
still elves, handmade.
We're not
Then
automated
you're
yet.
going to be in trouble.
There's a question that we got via email. Do you automate any of these
No.
toy production up there?
None
Nothing.
whatsoever.
Nothing.
And Santa was busy in the last couple of days with the illumination tours, with senior parties. Santa's been very busy.
Yep.
The illumination tour was great.
It was great.
I went on that.
You know, in every tour that you do takes on a different feeling. The first illuminations tour that we did at 4:30 on Saturday
Yeah.
involved the senior citizens.
Yep.
And they love to hear about everything about Somerville, the history of it, the facts, the factoids and all. The second tour was more geared towards family. So Santa had Christmas carols, and in between the stops, we would point out the houses and sing Christmas carols all the way. It was definitely
nice.
two different styles, but
you
both
are-
great.
And I was on the rowdy trolley at 9:15.
Yeah.
Me and about 15 of my friends. We were
Wow.
on the. It's a totally different scenario there.
Christmas carols.
Hot cocoa Bailey's. You
That's
know.
kind of like the bar hop trolley, isn't it?
No, Joe. There was no getting off the trolley. Everybody fell in line, but it was so. There's, you're right. There is a totally different
Totally
feel, and a
different
couple
feel.
of them people with us were mothers, and they're like, "Wow, I was always on the early trolley. This is a totally different feel."
Definitely.
Great
No-
job about that, though.
No wrong. They're all right, but just
Yeah.
a different,
Different-
personality.
So
of
what do you
everyone.
think? I mean, we started the Illuminations tour here in Somerville. We started that a few years ago, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and more houses and more folks are
You know,
participating.
on the second bus with the kids, we had people from the South Shore.
Sure.
People
Wow.
from Norwood,
Yeah.
Weymouth. People, it's getting out. People
Yeah.
were wanted to see Somerville.
Have they always had, and I want to just remind the viewers at home, because I didn't know this, have they always had the contest where you can vote online and the winning house gets $500
No.
towards their
Oh, I didn't know
electric
that.
bill?
No.
Yeah. Check out the city website,
Oh.
or actually probably be on the Somerville Arts Council website. But you go in and you vote. There was about, there was a ton of houses, but there was 25 that were quote unquote fabulous.
Yeah.
And you picked one of the 25 fabulous ones, and the one that gets the most votes from now until the Christmas Eve, you can vote, and then they get $500 towards their electric bill in December. And then there's also donation made to the
To a
city.
charity,
Yeah, to
some
a charity.
kind of
So
charity.
you might want to check that out. It's a really, it was an added bonus this year.
That's
and I
great.
think it was
And
wonderful.
this year was the 15th annual tour.
Yep.
And they added a little wrinkle to it. There was a West Somerville
I
tour.
saw that.
So there was an East Somerville and a West Somerville.
How did you get on that one?
Santa surveyed the West Somerville tour, and I think they did a great job.
Okay.
But East Somerville was definitely the one to be on this year. And I think West Somerville has some ground to make up, but I'm sure that they will. in the
Santa,
coming years.
something tells me your heart lies with East Somerville. Is that true? Is that true? You're not being a little slanted in your favor
No,
of East Somerville.
Santa has
right?
a global view when
Yeah.
it comes to Somerville. And I think, honestly, that the East tour had a little more to offer this year.
But here's the question: did they tell you were on the way? Because I got on the trolley and they just drove me to the east. But was there a specific one that you could take to West?
I'm not sure. I'm not
Okay.
sure. Santa had 2 East tours. I would have liked to
Okay.
have done the West tour, but I did drive around, and there were some nice houses on the West tour.
Well,
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, over the weekend, Santa, I had a few holiday things that I had to go to, and I went back to my old haunts in Boston, and I have to tell you, Boston, they got nothing on Somerville when it comes to house decorating. I
Really?
mean, we look terrific in this city. You go to any of the small business centers, you go to the side streets, even the main streets. I mean, you know, we're decorating this year. Who needs Boston? We have the lights, we have the libations, we have holiday parties, we have luscious food. You don't need to go outside of Somerville during
Just
the
stay
holidays.
here. Just get rid of your car. Stay here.
Shop local, eat local, drink local. Look at your lights local. Local lights.
It's becoming a destination.
It is.
I'm gonna try. You know what? I'm gonna try to get on that tour next year. My street. I'm gonna be like. There's been a lot more people festive this year. I think my street has a lot more lights than it did last year, and I don't know why that is.
There was a nice house on Highland Road. Really nice house.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Oh, the one with the ferret, that thing that goes. There's
Yes,
like a.
yes.
Yes, I've seen that. That's impressive. It's
And,
right.
and Santa would like to make a challenge that both of you become tour guides on the illumination
You know
tour.
what? That was actually.
You guys would be
on-
great.
I think that'd be kind of funny. We could have
Can
our
we
own
wear these
trolley.
sweaters?
Without a doubt.
Oh, okay. No, we don't
Make
have to.
it your own.
I think that's great. Okay, next year, something to think about. Greater Somerville on trolley
on
location.
tour. Well, last year
You
we
could sing.
did do our on the road during the holiday
We
season.
did.
Yeah,
And
we
we
went
didn't get
down
to that
one
this
of our
year.
local establishments and we tried to pump shop locally.
Yes, yes, we did.
All your gifts that you needed, gift certificates, libations, food.
Well, another thing too, the Somerville Local First coupon book, which everybody I know bought this year for only $10, that is actually expiring at the end of the year. So I, in fact, have been utilizing that during the holiday shopping
Sure.
because there's a lot of really
Sure.
good coupons left in there that 50% off a lot of stuff. So you can save a lot of money.
Yep. But Santa, the real reason we bring you on every year, the reason we bring you on every year is for the majority of kids in Somerville, they've been good, so I hope you can, answer their requests and give them what they want. But there are some people who have been naughty and some people who have been nice in Somerville. So you want to try a little bit of the list here?
Absolutely.
Cayenne, you want to lead off with some nice people?
Joe.
Nice.
We
Lead off
talked
with some
about this,
nice.
because we were supposed to have a script and you didn't give me a script.
We all know who's been naughty and nice. You want me to lead off?
Yeah.
All right. I think the naughtiest person in Somerville this year has been Congressman Mike Capuano for suggesting that we take dirty, stinky diesel commuter rail stops instead of highly efficient light rail rapid transit green line stops. And Santa, I'm going to make a request of you. Coal for Mikey Capuano.
Well, Santa would disagree.
Yeah.
I think that Congressman Capuano is taking a realist approach when it comes to that subject. And if you look at the low lines that go through Somerville, and Santa sometimes for work during the week, he has to travel to Concord. And Santa has to drive on the Orange Line to North Station just so we can get on a commuter rail which goes through the length of Somerville. So, given the tough environment that we're in right now, and I'm sure Congressman Capuano, as he stated, that he would like to see that purist approach of a green line stop with the stations. But, basically he said at the last Alderman meeting to get what we can get. And I think it makes sense. I'm not thrilled about the diesel that it'll bring, but Somerville is basically a long track through Somerville, getting none of the benefit. So I think it's time that we do get some of that benefit, and it might be a start. Getting all. So Santa disagrees. I think Mike Capuano has been nice.
It's going to take a lot more convincing to Joe Lynch, because diesel stops or diesel trains coming back into Somerville and stopping and starting is a step backwards in Joe Lynch's mind.
Point well taken.
So, who's been nice? Coal for Mike Capuano. Who's been nice, Cayenne?
Oh my God, Joe. Oh my goodness. Well, as a group, I'm going to say the Board of Aldermen in general, because I'm excited that the Federal Trust Realty development is moving forward, and now that we've got the stop there, but without that bond bill that they agreed upon, I don't think that would have been as successful, and I just am excited that is moving forward.
So what do you think, Santa? You want to give stars and kudos to the Board of Aldermen this year?
No, I agree. Without that $25 million funding for infrastructure, the site would have sat dormant. We're going to have an Orange Line stop being built in the next year, the first stop in the greater Boston area in 25 years right here in Somerville. So I think with that, the rapid transit, it could unlock the infrastructure which could bring some of those biomedical companies, research companies into Somerville. Because people, I think that when you look at that, you look at Kendall Square, those professionals want to live in an urban setting. And I think Somerville fits the bill with that rapid transit, which will unlock. It'll definitely make it. Downtown Boston's pretty close. Kendall Square. If you look at MIT, Harvard's right here. I think it was the right move. It was not an easy decision. It's not one I'm sure that the Board of Aldermen took lightly. There were public hearings. There were a lot of input, but I think we made the right call.
Yep. Yeah, I would tend to agree.
It's moving forward.
I would tend to agree. So we'll give a star, and we'll give a nice star to the Board of Aldermen and to Federal Realty. How's that? And then, in order for me not to get egged at my house by Congressman Capuano's sons, I will take back half the coal that I was going to put in Mike's stocking because he was instrumental in getting the Orange Line stopped down there as well.
Right, I agree.
So, all right. So, Michael, my apologies, but only half a stocking full of coal. Naughty. Who else? Who else have we got out there, naughties?
The person who stole my ski rack off of my car. I don't know who you are. It's a very small naughty, but it's one of those annoying things that happened this year. And as the snow is going to be coming soon, I'm going to have to purchase a new ski rack. Just a minor thing. Sorry. Sorry to vent on the air, but you put me on the spot, and that's one thing that jumped out at me.
I'll jump on. I'll say whoever the hooded wonder was that tried to break into my house a couple of weeks ago.
You know, speaking
All
of
sorts of things going
speaking of the
on.
crime, there have been a lot of break-ins in the last 4 months in the Ten Hills area.
Really?
I think
Yeah.
to the tune of maybe
Yeah.
close to around approximately a dozen. I don't have it in front of me, but I was notified tonight as I took a walk around the neighborhood that somebody on Ten Hills Road again was broken into, and this time, unlike the other times that I'm familiar with, they stole the TV. They pretty much wiped them out during the holiday season. So I think there's been a drug epidemic among our young people, which is leading to it. And people say they're brazen, but I think they're desperate.
Well, you know one thing, actually, sorry to interrupt you, Santa. One of the things, because I still want to get my good gifts, I actually found this out, and someone told me this. When you get your holiday gifts this year, be smart about what you put on the step for the trash, because apparently I've heard that that's what they look for. People will circle around and they'll look for people that have TV, plasma screen boxes out, stereo boxes. So just be very strategic about how you throw things away, because that would invite more problems.
So let me do a great segue and give the city of Somerville a nice star for single stream recycling.
Oh,
Definitely.
yes.
Because
Yes,
now,
I agree with that.
I know you don't have to break your boxes down, but I've seen some of these boxes that the 46-inch plasmas come in. You know what, folks? Break it down,
And put it in that
turn
big
it
bin.
inside out, and put it back
Yeah.
in the big bin.
Definitely.
Naughty. It goes back to the crime. I hate bringing up the crime thing, but all those assaults that were going on around Davis Square and Porter Square.
And just a couple of nights ago in Charlestown, too. Did you hear about that one?
No.
Just over the line.
Yeah,
There was
those
a 40-year-old woman walking with her pocketbook, and a group of adolescents, probably 15, 16, 17 years old, knocked her down, and they were trying to get her pocketbook from around her neck, and one was stating, hit her harder until they gave it up. I mean, it's terrible.
Let's look at it this way. For anybody who perpetrates crimes on anybody else out there, you're naughty, and you'll get your comeuppance one of these days.
Yeah.
So whether it's breaking into somebody's house or assaulting folks in the middle of them walking home after working all day, you're going to get it. But let's go into the nice part.
Let's be
I
positive.
think on the nice side, I want to give kudos to our friends at the Council on Aging, because over the past couple of months, they have had some rough time with a couple of things that have happened down at the Council on Aging. But a lot of the staff members down there just continued on serving the seniors of this city, trying to make them comfortable, trying to keep them company, keep them safe. And I would have to say, out of the emails that I got, or phone calls, I shouldn't say emails, phone calls that I got over the holiday season so far from seniors who live in my neighborhood, they adore the folks and the good, hard-working staff at the Council on Aging.
Wonderful.
So they get a kudo.
Well stated. I agree.
Yep, they get a
Nice.
star right on the forehead. So no coal for them. Save up that coal for Mikey Capuano.
You know, I'd like to bring up another issue.
Okay,
Who I thought was, all around were very nice.
Okay.
There's a charter school, new charter school trying to come into Somerville.
Yeah,
There was a public
yeah.
hearing at the Somerville High School auditorium last week from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m.
I heard that was packed.
It was packed. You're right. It reminded me of a Green Line hearing. But, I've never been at a meeting where both sides showed respect for each other.
Sure.
It was,
Yeah.
there was a high level of civility, and
Yeah.
Santa Claus appreciates it during the holiday season,
There you go.
That's good.
whatever side you're on.
I did hear, I mean, not to bust your chops, Santa, but I did hear that there was some booing at that. And then it promptly stopped by someone, making obviously some issue with it. But was
Right.
that not the case? I
There
heard there was
were
some
there were a
booing at
couple
the
there were a
beginning.
couple of speakers
Okay.
during the 2 hours that were booed.
Okay.
And but I think overall
Overall, it was a positive
very
experience?
positive experience.
Well, let's
Like
put it
that.
this way. Folks who are passionate about the education of the young in this city,
Yeah.
whichever side you're on, kudos to you for
And
being passionate
I
about
agree,
it.
and getting everybody out there. I mean, and it was in the middle of the day as well. And there
Because
was
once
packed.
again, it's
Yeah.
about the kids.
Definitely.
That's what your life's work is about, Santa.
Definitely, yeah. I was. If there was one negative to take away from the meeting, the Board of Education, the Secretary of Education, cut the meeting at about 2 hours and 10 minutes. He kept right to the schedule, and there were probably at least 100 more speakers I know that were waiting their turn, and they never got their turn
Yeah.
to speak. But they left the record open.
Well, let me give you another one. You might not agree with this one, though, Santa.
Okay.
I'm going to give kudos to Mother Nature for the balmy weather that we've been experiencing since the beginning of winter.
Yes, but now
Roads are clear.
Okay.
DPW overtime recipients are very sad. But
this is true.
now, how's this going to affect you when you try to get in and out of all your deliveries
We'll have
in
to
4 days?
We'll have to have the help of the Somerville Fire Department. They're going to have to pull double duty.
There you go.
But
That's
I
true.
agree. It's the only snow Santa wants to see is the snowflakes projected onto the houses during the illuminations tour. That's all. That's the only snow that I
All
want to
goes
see.
back to the Illuminations tour.
But you have to remember, Santa, you have a very wide range all over the world of deliveries. So, I'm going to have to say to my grandnieces and nephews who live up in the White Mountains, and their mom and dad depend on tourists in the ski resort
They're-
at Attitash. They're open,
Wow.
so they
Yeah.
want more snow.
Yeah.
And I'm sure
ready.
when it snows here, that gets people in the mood here to go skiing.
I agree. I think it's a
Here.
little bit, well,
Right.
snowboarder, but
Snowboarder.
yeah. It's definitely more, festive when there's snow.
So
on
what
it.
do
I
you
would agree
think?
with
We'll
that.
give Mother Nature a star on the forehead for that one?
Yeah, but you know what the problem is that when it starts to get cold, that's when when it's been so balmy, like this morning, I didn't know, I was in shock. It was so cold out. I was just, all bundled up.
Yeah.
So when it should be at least a normal temperature. I was wearing shorts a couple of weeks ago. It's a little odd. I have a nice breaking ground on the East Somerville Community School.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah.
That's
Nice.
exciting. I saw the steel up. I was very excited. It was on the Illuminations tour.
Right.
Yeah.
And there were some projects overruns, price overruns with that. The estimates of trying to reconvene a building to use some of the original structure, they underestimated what it would cost. And they had to go back before the mayor and the Board of Aldermen for some more funding, which they did. The school committee collectively, Aldermen and the mayor are supporting of the project. And hopefully that'll come open. I think it's slated for 2 years from now. It's slated for opening.
And the reason we give that star is because, once again, it's all about
Kids.
The kids.
the kids. There you go.
No,
There you go.
nice. I'm going to give a shout out to all the new businesses that have come to Somerville in the past year. Like started, there's new coffee shops around. I just think that, again, things to bring in, new blood into the city. And, there have been some businesses that have closed, unfortunately. But I would say that, keep things coming. There's some great shops out there for everybody to get their shopping done.
I agree. My childhood friends and I went to a certain local restaurant, and there were 11 of us for dinner. I think they were very glad when we left, but we did our holiday celebrating a couple of weeks ago right here locally. Right here locally. Santa, food-wise, do you have a favorite food besides cookies and milk?
Or soy. I mean, you can lactose. We don't know if you
Right.
have.
Favorite food, Santa?
There are so many good restaurants in Somerville, from Vinnie's on Lower Broadway, the Pescatories up in Ward 5.
I think he's given us a signal.
I would say Italian. I would say Italian.
Yeah, but how about your favorite food that Mrs. Claus cooks for you?
Oh, okay. She does very well. Let me think.
Careful now, Santa.
I like it when she. Santa's very simple. Has very
This
simple
is a
taste.
calculated response.
I like.
Clearly.
Mrs. Claus is watching.
I'll tell you, she tries to prepare very nutritional meals and baked fish and.
But not too nutritional, because
No, no.
that's part of the whole.
Right.
Gig.
My favorite one that she makes, I would say maybe a roast dough.
There you
roast
go.
potatoes,
The crock
very-
pot.
sometimes crock pot, sometimes just in the oven.
Yeah. All right. As long as you're eating healthy,
I'm eating
Santa.
all when I'm home.
Because we need you around. We need you to come back again next year and the year after and the year
That's
after.
right.
So,
Right.
how about we're gonna be closing down a little bit? What do you think? Any more naughties? You got any more naughties out there you want to chastise while we have the chance?
Wow. Well,
Because
you know what is a naughty, and I'm just going to bring it. I'm glad that a certain shop got shut down by my house, the Lowell and Highland Street. There was a specific store that got shut down, stopped work. Did you hear about this?
You mean the
Yes.
massage parlor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because, no, and honestly, you know,
Oh, I did hear about that. I did hear
It came in, and I'm sorry, it's a little controversial.
I did.
But Santa even heard about it in the North Pole. It's a little controversial, but you know, it just bothered me. It's by my house, and I just was, you know, I didn't want that in the neighborhood, and I'm glad that they're gone. And I see that a new place it's been rented again.
By
so
what kind of business is
I
doing
don't
that?
know.
Okay.
I don't
As
know.
long as it's not a massage parlor, I think we're okay. We like new businesses coming into
I
Somerville
know.
as long as they're legit. We're gonna be closing out the show,
Yeah.
but we're
Tell.
not gonna be back next week.
We're not.
So
Little holiday break
maybe
for
watch
us.
for Santa again next week.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
we'll have Santa back on next week and do a repeat. On behalf of Greater Somerville, I want to thank all of our guests who have come in this year.
Yeah.
Including many of the political candidates, the incumbents, the challengers. Many of our local business folks have been in. We've had artists. We've had not-for-profit organizations who
Urban
have come in.
transportation specialist.
Our transportation specialists. So to all of you, a very Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, a Happy Holiday. And we're going to close out and let Santa have the final word here.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to all of Somerville.
Thank you, Santa. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Stay safe, stay informed. We'll see you next year.
Good night.
Good night,
Christmas.
everybody.